Child Impact International is an organization giving hope. Previously called Asian Aid, Child Impact International is an organization fostering permanent positive change in the lives of disadvantaged children and their communities. Child Impact is committed to making a difference in the lives of children and those who are in need, serving communities in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and will soon expand to other countries. For the last 50 years, Child Impact has invested in the futures of people, and their investment has proven infinite returns. Driven by the dedication to helping those who have the least, Child Impact is an organization focused on the welfare of children, implementing diverse development projects, and sponsoring thousands of children. Their outreach spans from child rescue operations to providing an education for orphans, deaf, and the blind children, giving them a sense of place, a home. But above all, Child Impact is an organization giving hope to children, giving hope to communities, giving hope to the ones who need it the most. This is Hope in Motion.
Myanmar is a big country, and one gets to realize this only when traveling by road from one place to another. We left Mountain View Academy early morning and took a 7-hour drive to southern Myanmar to the Southeast Adventist Seminary, or Eric B. Hare School, as it is commonly referred to by the locals and visitors. Pastor Eric B. Hare was an Australian missionary who established the Southeast Adventist Seminary to serve the Karen people, one of the major tribal communities of Myanmar, more than 100 years ago.
Here I get an opportunity today to sit at a very important spot on the Southeast Adventist Seminary campus. This spot has been chosen to commemorate a vision, a seed planted 102 years ago. I'm sitting in front of a very special memorial to the person who God gave this vision to. And for the last century or more, lives have been transformed. Let me share with you what is written on this Centennial Jubilee commemoration. It says, the Centennial Jubilee of Southeast Adventist Seminary, Eric B. Hare Memorial Academy, 1916 to 2016. In honor of Pastor Eric B. Hare, a devoted missionary among the Karen people, a master storyteller, a health worker, an educator who planted the seed of true education in this community, in the township of the Karen people, by establishing the Southeast Adventist Seminary in June 1916. He lived in this community from 1915 to 1934 and nurtured the school by his presence. What an amazing story. The Lord chose Pastor Eric B. Hare 102 years ago to plant a seed in this community. And for more than a century, lives have been transformed in the classrooms, on the walkways, in the halls, in the dormitories of young men and young women in whose life this very seed of ministry has been planted. The Karen people have been affected in a beautiful way by the messages proclaimed from this campus. And we're going to get a chance today to see in a very real way how that seed planted is being watered by Child Impact International and transforming lives, not only for time, but also for eternity.
Child Impact International considers it a blessing and a privilege to be supporting an historic institution that was established a century ago. Child Impact's sponsorship program helps this school continue to be of service to the children from the community, especially needy children from Adventist lay members' families.
Here at the Southeast Adventist Seminary, there are about 500 children. Of those 500 children, Child Impact International sponsors about 25%. So Child Impact International is a key part of giving support to these students. It's a key part of the school's funding. It's a key part of the impact on the community that this school serves. And I'm really proud of the support that we get from our sponsors. So not only child by child we're making a difference, but we're having a big impact on the finance, the future, and the effectiveness of the school.
Child Impact's funding is crucial as there is an influx of students wanting to join the school each year. This being a boarding school, the steady stream of students from Adventist and non-Adventist backgrounds has, over the years, made it difficult to find accommodation for them. This difficult situation became more striking as Pastor Lomacang and Angela met with Kinkin, the girls' dean, who was overcome with emotions as she narrated the struggles the girls go through in a crowded living environment.
The most important and the urgent need is for the girls' dormitory, because we need, before we have only 160 or 70 girls, but today we have 200 above. So the place getting very crowded and we really need to expand or build a new hostel for the girls.
It is a challenge to provide quality accommodation, especially for the girls. But parents really want their children to be educated, and this desire to give them quality Christian education overcomes any temporary discomfort their children may face in the dorms or classrooms. Sa La Lawa is a 9th grade student at the school, and she considers it a privilege to be studying at the school. She is thankful that someone is able to sponsor her education. Although Salah is a boarding student, she visits her grandparents who live close by the school. She graciously invited Pastor Lomacang to visit her grandparents. Her parents have moved to Yangon for work, and so Salah visits her grandparents every day just to help with the chores and look after them.
We're glad to get a chance to meet you. Onji, so good to be here today. How old are you?
90.
90 years old. And what did you do throughout the years? What was your occupation?
He used to be a farmer.
A farmer,
Yes.
in an agricultural way.
Yes.
Yes. And now he's retired.
Yes.
See, Onji was a farmer, but he's now retired. He was helping planting seeds, harvesting crops. But now the crops are being harvested in a different way through the life of their granddaughter, Salulawa. The crop of the seeds that the gospel presented are now coming to fruition as we see generation after generation. I believe they said they have about 10 grandchildren and 2 sons. And the Salulawa is the product of one of their 2 sons. And I also found out something else, that in her class of more than 60 students, Salulawa is ranking 4th, which means she takes her education very, very seriously. So you can see that sponsorship is not something that is received lightly, but is received very humbly, and the lives are being transformed of young people just like her siblings, and the impact on her family and on the future is something that we can all be excited about and thankful about. So whenever you participate in any kind of sponsorship for Child Impact International, these are the families that you're changing. Young people like Salulawa, the impact on her grandmother and grandfather, on their generations to come. As he was a farmer planting the seeds that brought forth crops to bless many lives, the Lord, through your sponsorship, is planting the gospel seed in Salulawa's life through former students like Kinkin, who is now one of the teachers at the Eric B. Hare Seminary. Thank you for all you do to make a difference, impacting lives not only for now, but for eternity.
Today, the Southeast Adventist Seminary stands as a true testament to Pastor Eric B. Hare's vision. This school that was established by him to sow the initial seeds of true education among the Karen people continues to educate and nurture young minds for tomorrow and for eternity.
Children and their future are very important to my wife and to me. Those are the things that are close to our heart. That's why we enjoy traveling with Child Impact International. A few years ago, they invited us to go with them to India. This time, we're in Myanmar. And since we've been here, we've seen some amazing stories coming to fruition. We went to Mountain View, the academy, where we saw young children and their teachers working hand in hand together, their eyes brightly lit with hope and a future, seeing that somebody cares about what happens with them tomorrow. Not only is sponsorship making a difference, but the places they are educated, the places that they live, the dormitories, their educational supplies, but more important than that, the relationship that they have with their teachers, people that are dedicated to their well-being. Here on the Southeast Adventist Seminary campus, I've witnessed the very same thing. We've also saw a student who was at one time going to school here. Kin Kin, she's now a teacher, teaching mathematics. She's also the dean for 219 girls, and I spoke to her and had a chance to find out why she would come back to a campus when, in fact, she could make more money elsewhere around this country. She said, "This place has transformed my life, and I want to give back to transform somebody else's life." Your sponsorship and your support is where the future is going to be secure. So when you think about how you can be participating in this mission, think of a child here in Myanmar, a child in India, throughout Southeast Asia. One day you're going to stand before the Lord, and I'm looking forward to hearing the phrase, "As much as you've done it to the least of these, my brethren, you've done it to me." So thank you from the bottom of our heart for all that you do for these children here in Myanmar and in India. The kingdom is going to be a beautiful and a bright place because the Lord has reached out and touched your heart, and you've responded by touching the hearts and lives of these young children. What a wonderful thing to do, knowing that our Lord is near and He's called us to stand at this very beautiful and challenging moment. Child Impact International is committed to the vision that was started here in Myanmar and the vision of Southeast Asia. Thank you for all that you do, and may God richly bless you.
A couple of years ago, my daughters and I had a wonderful opportunity to travel to India. And while we were there, we met yet another part of our family, and that's our sponsor daughter, Sheila. We've had the privilege of sponsoring Sheila through Child Impact International for more than 3 years now. And you know, while we were there, she shared with us that her dream was to become a nurse. Now, what a wonderful privilege it is for us now as a family to know that she is fulfilling that dream. Sheila is now studying to be a nurse. She's in college, and we could not be happier for her. It's been wonderful to be part of that journey with her. And you know, sponsoring a child through Child Impact, it's made an incredible difference for our family. And I know that for you, sponsoring a child can make a difference for you too. And most importantly, it can make the difference in the life of a child every day.
At Adventist mission schools like this one in Bangladesh, Child Impact International sponsors hundreds of children. We often think that sponsorship only impacts on the life of the child, but it's much wider than that. It impacts on the parents and on the community. But more important, it impacts on this school. It becomes valuable income for this school, and then in turn, it impacts on hundreds of other children. I just ask that you would consider sponsoring a child with Child Impact or supporting one of its valuable projects that will improve education in Adventist mission schools like this one right here.